learn naturally, communication, lexical, vocabulary. So those are the four main approaches. Nowadays, for example, I don't know, Marcos, I don't know if any of you is working at La SEP right now, for any of these elementary or middle schools. And right now, there is another approach, an approach that the new model of education in Mexico, is pushing. So they are supporting this approach, like this is going to be the new approach we're going to have in education for the following years. Do you know which one is it? It's really new, actually, and they're going to apply for every single subject. It was in the past. Competences were in the past, Actually, we stopped talking about them, right? Like out of the blue, like people stopped talking about competences. But at the beginning, they were very popular with rubrics and everything and the portfolios. Right now, we stopped talking about the portfolios, right? No? Well, the new approach that the new model of education in Mexico is pushing and supporting is a humanistic approach. The humanistic approach that every single subject needs to see the students as human beings, Like, I mean, you're teaching a subject, but the main focus of the subject is to approach the student as a human being. So the humanistic approach, so that like caring more about the feelings and emotions of the students and having an environment that they feel comfortable with. Actually, in the Proni, they had, you Marcos were to the forum, no, Marcos? That he said like forum about what? Affective tasks or affective tasks, affective performance, something like that, no? But it was about affective, no? So it's a humanistic approach. Okay, so we got the approach and we got method, and we got different methods, and some of these methods can be linked to one or two approaches, but some may not. We got the grammar translation method, which is using grammar and translating the language. The audiolingual method, right, which is based on drilling, based on repetition, based on listening and repeat, listening and repeat, listening and repeat. Audiolingual method. Which of the approaches do you think audiolingual method can fit or can meet? Audiolingual method. With what approaches can we use audiolingual method? Do you think we could use it with I don't know, lexical approach, which is based on vocabulary? Do you think we could use it with that? I mean, a teacher who is actually, more into grammar, into vocabulary, could use audiolingual method for his or her classes? Yes, because audiolingual method is just like that, right? Repetition. So in lexical approach, the teacher could give the student a set of, I don't know, pieces of vocabulary about, for example, let's say, places in town, right? And he could give the student this list of places in town, so the students, could practice and learn and repeat and use the words in different types of sentences. Audiolingual method, do you think we could use it for communicative approach? RISES, yeah. What is RISES? What is it? What do you guys think? Approach, method? Well, we haven't seen technique, but it's approach or a method? It's a method, right? It's a method. Mhm. It's a set of instruction, a set of activities that you follow when in the classroom, right? It is a method, not an approach, right? Okay, well, PPP, what does PPP stands for? Presentation, practice, and production. Yes, we mainly use it, for example, in the communicative approach. It's very common, and actually is the method we are going to talk about today. TBL, what is that? TBL. Total body language. Anybody? No? Okay. TBL means task-based learning. Task-based learning. And it's basically that type of method where we, like you, what do we, it's the opposite of PPP, right? In PPP, we start with a presentation. We introduce grammar and vocabulary to the students, then we practice that grammar and vocabulary with the students, and then we allow the students to produce that grammar and vocabulary by themselves in a real conversation. That's what we do in PPP. In task-based learning, it's totally the opposite. First, we get the student to develop a task where they may need new language and new vocabulary. Students will start developing the task with the language they have, but sooner or later they will realize that with what they know is not going to be enough for them to perform the task, and they're going to approach the teacher and require the teacher the language they need. So the teacher would explain every single group of students different language according to what they know, and the students would use the language the teacher provides so they can finally finish the task. So everything is on the task. Everything is on the task. I'm going to give you a clear example because task-based is also included in the exam. For example, let's say that you're going to teach. Give me a topic. Give me a topic you are teaching, or that you usually teach in the class. Family. Family. Very good. So instead of starting your class, like giving the family members and having pictures of family members and having the students to repeat the vocabulary and having the students to write sentences and questions and answers about the family members, and then, because usually we do that, and then we give them a task to finish or a project to finish the unit where the students produce, or write a paragraph about their family or present a family tree, right? So usually that task, the family tree or the paragraph, we give it at the end. Well, in task-based, you give it at the beginning. You start your class by telling your students, okay guys, today we're going to talk about a family. Get in teams of 2 or 3, and please, all of you, draw on your notebooks your family tree. I want you to draw your family tree, I want you to label the pictures, and I want you to write the small paragraph explaining me who everybody is. So the students probably are basic level and they're going to be like, I don't know. But then they start asking each other because they are working in teams of 2 or 3. And then one knows mom and the other one knows dad and the other one knows sister and brother, papa, and they gather and they get to a position where they probably have grandmother, grandfather, the most common, no? But then they're going to start with niece and nephew and brother-in-law, and they are going to need more vocabulary. So what are the students going to do? Go approach the teacher. Hey teacher, yeah, we need help. How do we say sobrino? How do we say sobrina? How do we say cuñado and cuñada? How do we say that? And what about if I have, I don't know, a madrastra or something like that? How do I say that? Then the teacher will approach the student and explain, okay, look, we say this like this and this like that. Okay, now the students start writing the paragraph and they say, and how do I say, mi mamá es María y trabaja en Estados Unidos? How do you say that? Okay, you may say, my mom is Mary and she works, and the teacher may explain all that, okay? But the teacher explains only what the students require to be explained. Not everything, just what the students require to explain. And this is where the teacher becomes a facilitator instead of a teacher. Facilitator facilitates the language. He gives the language the students need. Alright? Is it clear? So far so good? Did you like it? The task base? Yes, what? Yes is clear, or yes you like it? It was clear. Both, it was clear. Of course, you first need to be used to that, right? I mean, we are not used to that because we follow, a specific method in our classes. All of us have our own methods, and we follow our own methods in class. And but once you get used to that, I mean, and you start doing it, it certainly works. I really like it. I really like it a lot. Every now and then I may use it. Guided discovery. What is guided discovery? Well, you give the students the language and students get the meaning of the language by its context. I mean, you expose the students. This guided discovery is actually what we do in the natural approach. We give the students sources of language where the students get new language and you guide them, discovering new words and new structures from themselves. TPR. We know the TPR, total physical response. You know the TPR, right? Unfortunately, we cannot do TPR activities right now. Over there where you are, right? Let's practice head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Okay, you know TPR, right? Yes or no? Please let me know. TPR, total physical response. Is it okay? Simon says yes. Simon says. And we may use it a lot with really young learners, not preschool students. Test, teach, test. Test, teach, test. It's a method too. We apply the students a quiz at the beginning of the class. We check the quiz with them and see their mistakes. Later on, we pay attention to their mistakes and we explain the grammar and the structures and the vocabulary they're having problems with. And then we apply the same test or another test by the end of the class so we can actually see if the students got or didn't get the language they needed. Test, teach, test. Apply your test, then you teach, and then you apply another test. The 21st century method, computer-assisted language learning, like that we now use computers and technology for our students to actually learn. And there are more, right? Yeah, and there are more. There are more methods like RISES and I don't know, collaborative learning, CLIL. There are many more methods. I just mentioned some of the most important, and of course the ones that the TKT consider. I only mentioned the ones TKT consider, but there are many more. There are many more methods, and we can use one or two methods which fit the approach we use. I Suggestopedia, yes, Suggestopedia too, right? I mean, we can use any method which fits the approach we believe in, right? If you are a communicative approach teacher, I mean, you can use any method which fits that approach, right? TBL, PPP, TPR, 21st century method, they are audiolingual method even can fit communicative approach. Very good. And finally, we have a technique. And I mean, when you have an approach for all of your course. I mean, for the course, for the whole course, you have only one approach. But your method, when in the classroom, can vary from class to class. All right, techniques. A technique is a very specific, concrete stratagem or trick designed to accomplish an immediate objective. So these are our own techniques, our own tricks, our own strategies that we use in the classroom. I mean, every single teacher might have his or her own techniques. Of course, in the TKT, these techniques are mentioned, so let's be sure that you all guys know this. Mother tongue mirroring. Mother tongue mirroring. So, for example, when I say, I am Mario, right? I am Mario. What about if the students say only I Mario? I Mario. So he's missing am, right? So when we use mother tongue mirroring, we mirror I Mario with Yo soy Mario. And we explain to the student, look, Yo soy Mario has 3 words, and I Mario, it's only 2 words, it's missing one. I, yo, Mario, Mario, which is missing? The one in the middle. Then how do you say soy? You say am. Okay, so you say I am Mario. Okay, mother tongue mirroring. You mirror the first and the second language so the students can get the answer or can correct the mistake. That's a technique. I mean, it works not for every single method. It works, of course, for methods which you probably would be more free to use the first language in the classroom. Okay, sandwich technique. The sandwich technique. What do you guys think is the sandwich technique? Anybody knows about it? Sandwich. And then somebody's gonna say, Hector will say, I'm hungry, right? Because he's always hungry. So you have a sandwich with a student and then a teacher and then the student? I didn't get it. But yeah, it's actually that. It's actually that. It's actually that, right? That the students say something and we always do it. I mean, it's a technique that we use all of the time when in the classroom, right? The student says something like, I don't know, there is a car blue outside of the house. And then you say, there is a car blue? And then the students say, oh no, teacher, there is a blue car, right? Car blue, blue car. We might use like I am that sort of teacher, who uses his fingers a lot. It's a finger, there's a finger, it's called the finger technique, so, Drillings. What is drillings? Well, we got a lot of drills, right? We make drills, repetitions, right, in the classroom, right? There are different ways of having drills in the classroom, different ways of having drills in the classroom, but they are basically that, repetitions, repeating the language, the grammar. Dictogloss. Okay, dictogloss is basically when you dictate your students something, or when you just play the audio for your students and your students just need to make notes about it. That's basically dictation. And backchaining, like like some teachers, because I have some teachers who do this really naturally, instead of, for example, the student may read computer assisted language learning, and probably you found computer assisted language learning is a difficult phrase for a student. So instead of encouraging the students to read computer assisted language learning, you start with learning, and you say something like, okay guys, repeat learning, and then students repeat learning, and then you say language learning, and students repeat language learning, assisted language learning, computer assisted language learning. So instead of repeating from computer to learning, you go from learning to computer. Yeah, that's why it's called back chaining. Yeah, back and forth. Yeah. So those are some of the most popular techniques, methods, and approaches, and some of the ones that are included basically in the TKT. Okay, I guess they are kind of clear, right? Okay, you let me know any doubt or questions, please. Okay, so as I was saying, basically in the TKT we are assessed on a communicative approach and on a PPP method. Basically, it doesn't consider like some of the other approaches may be included, and you may have some questions about the other approaches, but especially for the lesson planning and especially for the structure of the classes, TKT considers communicative approach and PPP method. Okay, so we're going to start with presentation techniques. Okay, presentation techniques, the introduction of the class. All right, we got presentation techniques are ways used by the teacher to present by the first time new language, such as vocabulary, grammatical structures, and pronunciation. Introductory activities are those used by the teacher to introduce a lesson or teaching topic. Okay, so we got presentation techniques and introductory activities. The introductory stage of a lesson helps the students to settle into the lesson and focus on the content. There are two kinds of introductory activities: warmers and lead-ins. So we got two: warmers and lead-ins. Warmers are used to raise students' energy level or to make them feel comfortable. They are not always related to the topic. So, give me an example of a warm-up that you guys usually have when in the classroom. Hello? Sometimes I feel only Hector is online. Yeah, the others are checking Facebook, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, nobody's talking, huh? The teacher has something. So, after the ha ha ha, the answer is... Give us a hand. Come on, guys. Think about a warm-up you guys do in your classrooms, usually or frequently or occasionally at least. Okay. Yeah, but I meant Hector. Yes, icebreakers. Yes, icebreakers are warm-ups. But I meant an activity. An example of an activity like Gerardo wrote. Ask the students about a relevant event. They had probably like, "Hello guys, how are you? And how was your weekend?" "Oh, it was good, teacher. Oh, that's good. And where did you go? And what did you do? And this and that." Doing a long word on the board and asking the students to provide words using letters of the word. Okay, that's a good one, Karen. That's a very good one. Yes. Mm-hmm. A word. Okay. 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 Your examples, Gerardo, Karen, and Hector, are good, but in the case of Gerardo, it is a really good example. But in the case of Karen and Hector, your examples are good, but they are more similar to a lead-in than to a warm-up. Remember, warm-up or warmers are used to raise students' energy levels or make them feel comfortable. Your example is more like a lead-in. Look at lead-ins. Focus on the topic or new language of the lesson. It also motivates students to make a link between the topic and their online personalization, Okay, so warmers are activities where we use that time to raise the energy, right? Like, for example, you play a song. You play a song and students sing the song. For example, before Marcos was talking about Simon Says, right? Simon Says, well, could be a warm-up. You play a game like, I don't know, any game you may know with your handman. Hot potato. Hot potato. Okay. Yes, you great basic questions about you and your students guess the answer. So whatever it motivates the student, motivates the students and raise their energy. That would be a warm-up. You tell them a short story. Okay. Remember, the main focus on a warm-up is not the language. I mean, students are not going to learn anything from that activity. It's just that they are going to feel happy, comfortable, and more energetic at the end of the activity. And a lead-in is totally different. A lead-in is an activity where we use language. We use language for that activity. We have language included, probably is previous language we saw the previous class, or probably is language we are going to use in this class, right? So probably something that is going to help you link yesterday class or today's class to your students' real life, like what Gerardo said, telling them a short story, right? Telling them a short story. Or like Gerardo said, asking them questions about something relevant for them. Okay, so in a warm-up, there's no teaching implied. There's no teaching. In a lead-in, yes, there is language that is implied in the activity. Okay, is it okay? Is it clear? That's the main difference. Warm-ups are to raise students' energy. At the end of the activity, students will feel energetic and happy. And lead-ins, not precisely. In lead-ins, at the end of the activity, students will feel happy. Surely they will feel comfortable. Surely they will feel relaxed. But they will use language. Yeah, writing your resolution. Yes, it's a lead-in. Okay, let's get going. There are many ways to present language, but the two most important and common approaches, the most important and common approaches are PPP and TBL. So those are the most common, like around the world, teachers use more PPP or TBL. Here we have some examples. This is like a comparison between PPP and TBL. I just explained you really quickly what TBL was, but here we have more in depth how it works. In a PPP class, the lesson has a language aim. So when we start our class and we are teachers who usually present, practice, and then produce, we have a language aim. We have a language objective, like present continuous or simple present or so. Future, for example. But in task-based learning, you don't have any language aim. You don't care about the tenses. You don't care about the vocabulary. You don't care about it. The aim of the lesson is students to complete a task. Can you hear me, guys? Now? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So as I was saying, in PPP we have aims, grammar, vocabulary, whatever. In TBL our aim is a task. I mean, writing a menu, describing a person, writing an email, I don't know, ordering food at the restaurant, a task where they try to achieve something real and have to communicate to do so. So it's a task where the students have, or they want to achieve something which is real for them. The teacher first, in the PPP, the teacher first contextualizes the new language. In the PPP, teacher contextualizes the language. Teacher shows pictures. Teachers introduce new language with a story or with a listening or with a presentation on the board. But he contextualizes the language. He gives context to the language. For example, you are going to teach prepositions of location. You just don't teach prepositions of location. You put that topic, prepositions of locations, into a context, which is, for example, places in town, or I don't know, things at home, or classroom objects. So you put the topic into a context. You contextualize a new language. In the TBL, and it is always like that. I mean, the lexical sets are always contextualized, or the grammar is always contextualized within a lexical set. Yeah, you contextualize it. You put it in a situation where you can use it. Very good. Yeah, Monica. And then the TBL is different. In the TBL, the teacher starts by holding a discussion on the topic of the lesson. For example, as I said, not in the PPP, you may start by introducing your class the new language with, a situation like, I don't know, Monica said a real situation like, for example, okay guys, today we're going to talk about food. And where do we get food from? Oh, from the supermarket, teacher. Ah, from the supermarket. Great, guys. Okay. And what type of food do you buy when you go grocery shopping to the supermarket? Oh, I don't know, teacher. Jitomates. How do you say jitomate? Ah, tomato. Okay, very good. So you contextualize it. You put it in a real situation, as Monica said. Now, in the TBL, it's different. In the TBL, you hold a discussion on the topic. For example, hey guys, yesterday I went to the supermarket and I faced a problem. What was the problem, teacher? I don't know. Have you guys gone to the supermarket recently? Oh, yes, teacher. Yes, like we usually go to supermarkets. Oh, well, the problem was that I went and I started buying things and putting everything in my cart. And then when I get to the cashier, I start putting everything there and the cashier says, oh, man, like it's 2,000 pesos. And I say, 2,000 pesos? Come on, that's too much. I don't have enough money. and I have to leave some other things. What do you guys think? Oh, that's too bad, teacher. Yes, things are really expensive. Okay, what do you guys think I could have done so that wouldn't happen to me? Oh, well, a shopping list. Oh, that's good. So why don't we write our own shopping list? Okay, get in pairs and write your own shopping list. Can you see the difference between PPP and TBL class? Mhm. So PPP, language. TBL, task. What is the task that I just mentioned? A shopping list. Mhm. And in the shopping list, students will need to use vocabulary about food. And they will then, either search for it or ask you. Mhm. But you just don't introduce it as in the PPP. Hello, hello. Yep. Is it okay, guys? Okay. Okay, yes. Great, great. Remember, I cannot see you, right? Remember, I cannot see you. When you are in the classroom with your students, you can see your students, right? And you see their faces, right? And when you see their faces, you automatically know if they are getting the topic or not. But right now I cannot see you guys, so since I cannot see you, there's no way that I can guess you are getting the topic or not, and the only way I have is that you guys make comments. You say, oh yes, or no, or I get it, or I didn't, right? Okay, so please, like, make comments about it so I know. Okay, very good. Let's continue on. So we are setting the difference. Okay, we started with a lesson aim and a task aim, a contextualization, a discussion. Next difference. The teacher makes students remember previously studied language by eliciting or doing choral drills. So in the PPP, what do? Oh, we activate previous language. And in the TBL, the teacher gives the students a task to do. You only do that. You do not activate previous language in the task base. You only tell the students, guys, write a shopping list. Period. Get in pairs and write a shopping list. And students are like, what? Yeah. How do I do it? Well, get together and get ideas together and do it. And you allow them, if they prefer working by themselves, you tell them, okay, you work by yourself. It's okay. Don't worry. Okay? Another difference is, in PPP, teacher presents a new language and the students listen. You give all your speech, and your students listen. It's what we are doing right now. In TBL, the teacher and the students discuss any problematic language they need for the task. So in the TBL, once the students are developing the task, performing the task, they ask the teacher and later they discuss about the problems they have and the problematic language they need. In the PPP, students say sentences including the new language in a very controlled or restricted practice activity. We give them control activities to practice. But in the TBL, lastly, the students do an exercise on the new language. So in the TBL, once they finish the task, you explain them any problems they have, and if you consider important, you give them activities to practice. But that happens once they finish the task. Probably it's weird for you, right? Because you have never seen probably this type of classes, so I don't know. Yeah, you make students think. Yeah, yeah, that's actually what you do. You give them a problem to solve. Yep. And that's very important actually for TBL to give them a problem to solve. That's why the beginning of the class is to generate a discussion on the topic, on the task. So they solve that situation through the task. For example, you mean an example of what exactly? Yes, yes, Jerry. I mean a video. Um, to tell you the truth, it is the first time somebody asked me for a video about TBL class. I don't have any. I don't have any since it's the first time somebody asked me that question. But I guess there should be. I guess there should be. I guess there should, there should be more some information on YouTube. I know. Let me find out. Let me look for it, and if I find it, I can give it to you. But in the case of PPP, I don't think there's too much problem because it's usually what we guys do every single day in the classroom. Every single class we teach is with PPP. We just do that every single day. We start, introduce the language, do activities in the book, and then have some speaking practice or writing practice freely. In the TBL, as I said, we may start holding a discussion about a topic, then we might ask the students to perform a task based on the discussion. We provide the students any language they may require. Then once the task is done, we analyze any problems faced during the task, and finally we if we consider it important, we give them activities so they can practice the problems they had a little bit more. So you don't plan your class based on present continuous or based on a grammatical structure. You plan your class based on a task. So when PPP, you plan your classes based on grammar and vocabulary. When TBL, you plan your classes thinking about a task. For example, that's what is task-based. You think about a task, ordering food at a restaurant. So you hold a discussion. Hey guys, have you ever gone to an American restaurant? Perhaps teacher tells the students, sorry. Watch a video in order to solve the situation the characters are facing. You need to, as you said, prepare the activity. Yes, yes, that's another way. I don't think that's what Mr. Cruz meant. I think Mr. Cruz meant he wanted a video to see how a PP class or TVI class was, but I don't know. You, Mr. Cruz, tell us. Are you, Mr. Cruz, reading this? What did you mean? He says no. Okay. All right, just to we are going to finish this, and then I'm going to make a summary of the steps in the class, so you can have a clear overview of how the class is developed. And I am going to look for a video example. Probably there is one, and I can share it with you so you can see it. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, let me finish this. I'll summarize everything so you guys can have a clear idea, and I will look for a video as you, Mr. Cruz, asked me. All right. Let me just finish this. Okay. All right, as you can guys see in the PPP, the steps are not just like that, or the work of a teacher doesn't finish. Like, we have even more in the PPP. We have even more things to consider. For example, in a PPP class, the teacher tells the students about the grammatical use of the new language. I mean, the teacher explains the grammar. The teacher asks concepts questions to check a student's understanding. Teacher checks, every now and then that the students are getting the idea. Like I am doing right now. I am using PPP right now with you. Students then carry out another control activity like we are doing in this course. I give you activities for you guys to practice. Students do a less controlled fear practice activity, like what we do when I give you some homework. PPP presents language in context. As we said, we put the present continuous in a context. For example, present continuous describing things around us. Present continuous planning future arrangements. I mean, we put language into a context. Teacher gets students to practice in controlled practice activities and asks students to use new language in less controlled activities in a communicative way. I mean, at the end of this course, I will give you a sample test so I can analyze your results. We usually do that. At the end of the unit, we give students projects, or we give them final orals or written tests, or I don't know, presentations where they have to use the language to communicate. That's for PPP. In the case of TBL, the teacher gives a student a task to do, and that's it. That's it. He doesn't care about preparing material for presenting grammar and vocabulary. No. He just thinks about the task. Period. And presents new language after the students have needed to use it, and only presents language that's been identified needed. I mean, teacher doesn't, spend time explaining something the students probably know from previously. No. Teacher just identifies, okay, students had troubles, were struggling with this, okay, so I'll just present this once they have finished the task. And if he considers important, he gives more activities for further practice, control activities. Okay. All right, let me summarize all these here. All right. So, a class follows the following steps in the PPP. In the PPP, when in the class, what do we do first? We had a warm-up, okay? Or a lead-in. Okay? When in the class. That's what we do. Okay? We start with a warm-up or a lead-in. What do we next? What do we do next? We present new language. What do we do next? We practice that language we just presented in the book or in the notebook or on the board, like whatever. What do we do next? We check understanding. We check if students are understanding. If students are not, probably we present the language again and we practice again. And what do we do at the end? We give students the time or the opportunity to produce the language, to communicate. That's what we do in a PPP class. Is this guy similar to what you do in your classes right now? More or less? Kind of. What would it be different, Hector? Stick to the contents of the book. Yeah, if you get, when you stick to the book is designed for PPP classes. All books, well, I have not, well, I have seen books, you know, like very weird books. But most of the books, I don't know, what book are you guys using? Top Notch? Interchange. Interchange is a PPP book. Interchange has a lead-in activities, practice activities, and production activities. It's a PPP book. That's the way it works. Touchstone is a PPP book. It's a PPP book. That's how it works. So that is what you're doing. PPP with those books. If you gotta stick to them. Okay. In the case of the task-based, now let's analyze how a task-based lesson is and what the sequence of the task-based are. So we're using the PPP. If you are using Touchstone and Interchange and you are stick to the book, you are using the PPP. Because they are PPP books. They are designed like that. You open the book and the book is a lesson, is divided by lessons, and the lessons start like that. They contextualize the language, they start with introductory activity, and the whole lesson starts like that. You know, this whole lesson starts like that. Let me see if I have an interchange page right here so we can see it. I guess I don't, but we can download it from the interchange is everywhere. It's everywhere, like it's free access, right? Give me a sec, guys. Yeah, I do have an interchange book here. Let me share this with you, and it's in Google actually. And what about the others? Only Hector and Marcos. Hector and Marcos. Are you guys there? That's what I mean. Like, the others are just like, yeah, whatever they say. Okay, here you can see my screen, right? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Yes, okay, great. It is the same as in any subject. It is the same as in any subject. Yes, Jerry, it is the same. Okay, very good. Okay, all right, now here is an interchange book in a SlideShare. This is the third edition. I don't know if there is a fourth edition already, but let's see. Here it starts, right? Yes, lesson 1. Okay, so it starts right here. If we stop in the middle of the lesson and in the other day, do we Do we what? Sorry, sorry. No, no, sorry. Do we continue with a warm-up? That's up to you. That's up to you, and that's up to how you know your students. Remember, the only purpose of the warm-up is to raise his energy. So, if your students are really energetic, I mean, there's no purpose of having a warm-up. I mean, warm-up is not mandatory. You can. That's why I wrote warm-up or lead in. Mhm. Sometimes it begins with a reading. Yes, it begins with a reading, and it doesn't matter whether it's a reading or whether it's a listening, it's the same. What is the reading and the listening? Is the contextualization of the language. That's what this is actually contextualization of the language. Here we are contextualizing the language. We are contextualizing the language. We are putting the language we are going to teach into one. This is contextualization. And we start with that. Usually they begin with a as well. And that's a lead in. That's a lead in. Yes. Yes. And let's check it out, okay? Yes, yes, Snapchat, yes. Okay, and that's a lead in. And okay, and then sorry. And then here we can see that they present the language. So this conversation is for the students to get the language. They are exposed to the language. So it presents the language, and then sorry, I went. Where is this? Sorry. Okay, so it's right here, and then here, speaking, checking information, match the questions with the responses. What is this? So the first part, the listening and the reading, is the presentation, and this is the practice. Here, students are practicing. What are they practicing? The questions and the answers, the language presented in the list, in the audio, in the reading, in the conversation. So it's practice. And here you have another conversation, and here you have more practice. And here you have the grammar, presentation. Okay, one more time. Presentation, practice. Presentation, practice. Presentation, practice. And finally, what do we have here in the letter C? Production. That is production. Write 5 questions about your classmates, then ask and answer the question. That is the production. And then you have the snapshot that Mr. Carlos was saying. Presentation, practice, right? You have some questions there. Presentation, you got the listening, grammar focus, presentation 2, practice. And there you have the production, letter C. Write 5 questions about your classmates and take turns asking and answering the question. And so on. Do you know these expressions? It is PPP. It is. As I said, it is PPP. Pair word. Practice saying hello. Find out about your classmates. Going to reach back to the book. Okay. Reading. The reading. You present language in the reading. You practice. Here, according to the article, which names suggest positive things? Okay, practice. What names are popular in your country? Practice is, production. Production is free use of the language, right? Like not restricted. I mean, they have the freedom to talk about whatever they want or may need. Okay. Let me supply there. Okay, is it clear? Doubts, questions? Now you see interchanges PPP. And it's difficult to find it is difficult to find books which are not PPP actually, you know. Yes, there are some, like for example, there is one called Side by Side. It's audiolingual method. Everything is audiolingual method, but it's, an old book. And there are others, which are other types of methods. But TBL books right now, I don't remember any I had seen. But well, so PPP is clear, right? Now, one more time, let's go and analyze TBL. In the case of TBL, what we start with a discussion. A discussion on a topic where we are going to present a situation or a problematic situation on the real life. Oh, sorry. Yes, it's missing an S. Thank you. Okay. And then, after the discussion, we are going to give the students a task to perform. And then, the students can do the task in pairs, trios, or by themselves. We do not explain anything. We just give them the task. And then, after the task, or when in the task, students may face problems about language, about vocabulary, and we provide the students any language they may need. We facilitate the language. Then, once the task is finished, we present, we explain the problematic, language. Okay, we explain it. I mean, okay, I saw guys, you had problems with this and this, it should be like this and that. Okay, we give an explanation about the problematic language they had, the problems they have. Yeah, as feedback. Yeah, as feedback. Yes, exactly like that, Gerardo. And finally, if we think, because this is, in case you think, students may need it, you give them a restricted control. It's control actually. Control practice. I mean, you give them activities like the ones in the book. Yes, like the ones in the book. Filling the gaps, matching, answering, multiple choice. Those are controlled practice. What do you guys think? Doubts, question? Is it clear? The two main methods around the world considered for the University of Cambridge. Hello. It's clear. Karen says it's clear. Okay. Is it important monitoring for TBL? Of course, you are going to be always there for your students, like going around, like asking them if they may need anything. Motivating. Yes. So guys, no doubts, no questions? To move around the class. Yes, of course. We are going. Yeah, yeah. It would be like really easy now if we just like get and tell them, okay, guys, you're gonna write an invitation for your birthday. Let me know when you finish. Now, and you take out your cell phone and you start. Yeah, it will be like good. No? Now everybody will be willing to use task base. No? Oh well, task base is wonderful. Do this and tell me when you're done. And if you have any doubts, Google bro will help you. You use it. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I bet. I bet some of you have used that previously more than once. Even though you probably didn't know the name of that method, I'm really sure like you guys probably have used it every now and then. So no questions, right? Can we continue on? Because it's already 6, guys, and we haven't finished even the first part. Okay, because if we don't finish, you guys are going to, we guys will need another class. All right, let's continue on. Okay, so some key concepts about PPP and TBL. A PPP approach to presenting new language can give students a safe learning environment where it is difficult to make mistakes and can be quite a confidence building approach, but it makes students learn language items they may not be interested in or ready to learn. I don't know, probably it had happened to you that sometimes the book is just tiring or boring for the students. It happens. Since the book guides us and we guide the students, it might happen that sometimes they might be not willing to learn, or they might find that useless. TBL, on the other hand, allows students to find language when they want to and to use experimentally and creatively for real communication. I mean, in TBL, they learn what they need. Presenting new language involves various choices. When to present the new language? In the PPP at the beginning, in the TBL at the end. What and how many language items to present? Well, basically, it depends on the maturity of the students, the number of students you have, the level you are teaching. What context to present the new language? Well, that's easy because the books provide us the context. What aids to use to help create the context? Oh, well, you decided up to the context. And what aspects of the language to present? Like you guys know, we don't present vocabulary and grammar at the same time. So we focus on vocabulary, grammar, or pronunciation in different times in PPP. In TBL, well, it happens whenever the students need it. Introductory activities involve the teacher in selecting interesting and relevant grammar and lead-ins. However, grammars may not be used when the students arrive at a lesson ready to learn. That's one of the questions you guys asked me, Marcos asked me, like if we stop the class at the middle and then do we start the following class with a warm-up? No, they are not mandatory. You use them whenever you need them. If students are ready to start your class, well, you just don't use them. The way you present new language will depend on your learner's need and the resources available on your school. Of course. Of course. If you want to present, a new language and you don't have the resources, well, there's nothing you can do. Okay? Is it okay so far so good? All right. No questions? Okay, let's continue on. Okay. Practice activities. Okay, so that was more for introductory activities. Now let's see some practice activities. Practice activities and tasks for language and skills development. These are activities and tasks designed to give learners the opportunity to practice and extend their use of language. When selecting activities for practicing language or skills of speaking or writing, we need to decide whether to do a controlled practice or a favored practice activity that focuses on accuracy or in communication. This is very important. When you give your students a practice activity, you need to think about what the purpose of the activity is. What is the main focus of the activity? Are you giving them the activity so they can practice accuracy or communication? Because if you are giving them the activity so they can practice their communication, then you should allow them to do it and not stopping them and preventing them for communication. In the case you're giving them the activity so they can focus on accuracy, then you should give them feedback enough for them to check their mistakes. You do not focus on accuracy and communication at the same time. You focus on accuracy and communication at different times. Because if you just want the students to communicate, but you interrupt them at every single time they make a mistake, they will never get to communicate. So decide on the purpose of the activity and focus on that. When choosing activities for developing skills, we need to decide which skills we are going to focus on. It's the same thing. So the same thing as accuracy and communication. We choose the skill to practice and we say, okay, I'm going to focus on this skill. Is it reading comprehension? Okay, so it's reading comprehension. It's not pronunciation. It's reading comprehension. Is it pronunciation? Then it's speaking. It's a sub skill for speaking. Okay, then it's speaking, it's pronunciation. So it doesn't matter reading comprehension. Right now I'm paying attention to pronunciation. And you let your student know this information so they can understand what they need to focus on. But if you are working with reading comprehension but you are correcting pronunciation at every second, well then it's going to be really difficult for them to understand what they are reading. So far so good. Lesson consists of a series of link activities and there are several ways of linking activities in a lesson. There are several different ways of presenting activities in a lesson. I'm sorry, I repeated that. These are just some of them. PPP, presentation, control practice, free word practice. TBL, discussion, task, presentation, focus on form. Skill-based lesson. This is another method. Warmer leading, comprehension task, post task. And you are doing this too. In your interchange books, you have lessons that are only for reading, or lessons that are only for writing, or lessons that are only for speaking. So when you have a lesson only for reading, what do you guys do? Oh, you present the reading, you introduce the reading with a lead in. Then you have your students to read, and then you have activities based on the reading. Lead in, task, post activity. That's what we do. That's how your book works. Okay, guys. Guys, up to here we are going to have some activities. Please, is it okay? Doubts, questions? Kind of worried because it's a silent period right now. There is a silent period right now. And I'm kind of worried about that silent period. Hmm. All right. A silent way. Yeah, that's another method. Third one is just for one skill. Yeah, yeah. The third one is the one we actually do when we focus on one skill, like when you only focus on reading or listening or conversation. Okay, so far so good, right? Okay, let's continue on. I'm hungry today. Who else is hungry? Hector, right? Yes, I know. Okay, give me a sec. You're not hungry. I ate 6 times a day. Oh my goodness. I don't know, but I'm thinking about some pastor tacos. I don't know why. What is the typical food right there at TAXCO? Some enchiladas. All right. Okay, guys. So let's practice what we just learned, which was actually important. Mhm. Okay, we're gonna do this the same way we always do it. What I want you to do is to copy the words in the box. Beans with with humiles. I don't know the humiles. Pozole bread. Okay, I want you to copy please the words from the box so later we can have the task, please. Mhm. Copy the words from the box so we can have the task done. From A to G. Grammar translation, guided discovery, all of these. Okay, so later I can show you the definitions and you match them. You cannot see it? No? Nobody? Okay, give me a sec. You can see it now. No. Yes or no? Can you see it now? Yes. Yes. Hector can't. Oh my goodness, Hector. Alright, let me try again. Fresh Hector. Probably, right? Okay, please copy that. Hector, nothing. Alright, I'll close and open it again. Sorry. What about now? What about now? Well, Mr. Oliver can see. Hector, can you see it now? You cannot. Probably, guys, you will have Hector and Marcos. Probably you will have to log out and log in again. You can see Monica, Gerardo. Yeah, Karen finished. Look. Yes, yes. I don't know what happened. The problem was them, right? Okay, since you guys finished, why don't you guys start? So you copy the words from the box. Here are the definitions. Okay, I want you guys, please, to match the definitions to the concepts you just copied. Go ahead. Okay, good, Alberto, Gerardo, and Karen. Okay, let's go to number 5, 6, 7, and there you go. Okay, and number 5, Monica. Okay, think about it, don't worry. Alright, guys, ready? Let's check the answers. Let's check the answers. And I'll send you homework about this too. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. See. Okay. Okay, so let's do it together, okay? Number 1, a way of teaching new language in which the teacher presents the language, gets students to practice it in exercise or other controlled practice activities, and then asks the students to produce it, the same language, in a communicative or less controlled way. And Mr. Oliver says teach, test, teach. No. And letter D. And Alberto says D. Correct. Yes. It's presentation, practice, and production. It says right there, right? It says the teacher presents, practice, and produce. There you go. Next. A way of teaching in which the teacher gives students meaningful tasks to do. After this, the teacher may ask students to think about the language they have used when doing the task. But the main focus for the students is the task itself. And letter E, and Alberto is right. Very good, Alberto. Very good. It's task-based. The word repeated at every single time is task. Okay, great. Number 3. A way of teaching in which the teacher presents language items as instructions and the students have to do exactly what the teacher tells them. Open the window, stand up. This method is good for beginners when they start to learn a language as they have a silent period and can make fast progress. And one more time, let's see. Alberto says A. No, Alberto. And Gerardo says A2. No. But here Karen says G, and Karen is right. It's letter G. Total physical response. Very good, Karen. Number 4. A way of teaching in which the teacher provides examples of a target language and then guides the students to work out the language rules for themselves. So the teacher just provides examples and then the students work out the language rules for themselves. I mean, they do it for themselves. And let me see, because I just have letters here. And I guess nobody got. Oh yeah, Karen again. Karen again. Very good, Karen. Yes. Guided discovery. You just give them examples and give them examples, and they just have to find out the way of getting the rules. Great. A way of teaching in which the teacher asks students to do a task to see how well they know a certain piece of language. The teacher then presents a new language to the student. Then in the final stage, asks the students to do another task using the new language correctly, and this way of approaching teaching target language can be helpful if the teacher thinks students may already know some of the language of the target language. And yes, in this case is teach, test. Test, teach, test. Very good. 6. A way of teaching in which students study grammar and translate words into their own language. They do not practice communication. There is a little focus on speaking. A teacher presents grammar rules, vocabulary list, translate, blah, blah, blah. Of course, this is very easy because it's the only one that works with translation. It is grammar translation method. And finally, since it's the only one missing, a way of teaching language that focuses on lexical items or chunks such as words, multi-words, units, collocations, fixed expressions, grammatical structures, and this is lexical approach. Very good. Is it okay, guys? So far, so good? Yes. Okay. Okay. All right, guys, let's go to another activity. It's 6:30. Oh my goodness, I'm really worried about this because no, it's not it's really late. Today we took too long with this. Let me see. Okay. All right, guys, let's practice another activity, and let me see. This is one, I guess. Here, yeah, it's this one. Okay, guys, there we go. Okay, here we have types of speaking practice, and we have oral fluency practice, control oral practice, or write it over there somewhere in your notebooks. They are only 3, okay? So we got oral fluency, control oral practice, or neither. And we are going to answer, okay? We do it together, okay? It says, at the beginning of the lesson, we got into groups and talked about an interesting newspaper article we had read. Listen again. At the beginning of the lesson, we got into groups and talked about an interesting newspaper article we had read. Do you guys study oral fluency practice, control oral practice, or neither? What do you guys think? We got into groups and talked about an interesting news article we had read. Imagine your students in groups. Neither. We got one oral fluency and we have one neither. Okay, I'm waiting only for Karen. Let me see. Oh, Hector log in again. Hello, Hector. Oral fluency. Oral, yes, it's oral fluency practice. Yes, because you give them the chance to get in groups and practice. They are free to talk about it. They use the language they know. You are not there, telling them say this, say that. No, no, no. They just do it, right? They practice fluency. Very good. Great. Very good. Number 2. The teacher gave us word prompts such as cinema and friends, and we had to say them in sentences using the past simple. Example, we went to the cinema or we visited some friends. What do you think? Yep, of course, it's controlled practice, of course, because you are giving them the prompts. You are letting the students know what they are going to do and what they are going to talk about. Okay, good. We'll listen to a recording of two people talking about their hobbies, then did a gap field comprehension task. Control. Neither. Good, Karen. Good, Monica. Yes, it's neither. Neither, because there you're not practicing speaking. It's gut feeling. So it has nothing to do with speaking. Yes. Okay, so it's neither. The teacher gave us such as film star or sports star, and we had to role play a party which we shared to each other. Very good, Karen. Very good. It is oral fluency, because you just tell them, oh, you are the film star, oh, you are the sports star. Okay, go ahead and practice. Boom. And they just have to practice by themselves. You're not giving them prompts. The difference between control and oral fluency is basically that, the prompts. Do you guys understand prompts? So. Okay, prompts are like clues. Very good, Hector. Nice to have you back. Prompts are like one, for example, now you are going to have an activity with your students and you write on the board. Okay, guys, you are going to ask each other questions about your likes and dislikes. So ask your classmate, do you like? And your classmate will answer, yes, I, or no, I Okay, very good. And here you guys have a list of things that you will ask. For example, do you like baseball? Sorry. Do you like baseball? Do you like pizza? Do you like Italian food? Sorry, but I'm hungry. Do you like tacos? Do you like tamales? Do you like whatever? Okay, great. These are pastor tacos, yes. So these are prompts. So here the students have not too much production, right? It's really controlled because the students just practice partos. Imagine, do you like partos? No, teacher, I don't like them. So students, do not practice freely, no, but they practice only the language you gave them. So this is controlled practice. These are prompts. Okay? Better? Okay, number 5. We had a discussion about the advantages and disadvantages of the internet. Controlled practice, oral fluency, or neither? Control. So to say control, Oliver says oral fluency. Gerardo says oral fluency, and yes, it is oral fluency, because here you have a discussion about advantages and disadvantages, but they have to discuss. You're not giving them these clues. Since you're not giving them any clues and they have to produce the language by themselves, it's just oral fluency. 6. The teacher read out some sentences, some of which were correct and some incorrect. We have to shout out right or wrong. What do you think? Oral fluency, control, or neither? Neither. Control. And the answer is neither, because here they're not speaking, they're not practicing any speaking activity. They are just saying right, wrong, right, wrong. Come on, they're not performing any oral task. Saying right or wrong is not an oral activity. They are paying attention on the grammar, on the writing that the teacher has on the board, but not on the oral practice. Finally, we had to ask our partner 5 questions about abilities using can. Can you swim? Can you play soccer? Can you do yoga? Yes, control. Yes, control. Yes, because here they just say can you, nothing else. So it's control. Very good. Very good. Alright, we finally finished the thing of the teaching. I told you, this thing of teaching, they were like yesterday, so too many pages, too many slides. The first day we saw many slides, and today with this we saw only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides. Only 6 slides, and yesterday we saw like 20. So this was tough, right? This was tough, but well, we are about to finish the first module and start the second module. So let's finish this first module before we go to the break. Yeah, the flying for moonshine. No, 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 no. Let's finish this and then we go to the break. Okay. All right. Let's take it easy. Okay. It's the last topic from module one, and then we go to the break. It says assessment types and tasks. It is easy. It is easy. This is easy. Assessment is judging learners' performance by collecting information about it. We assess learners for different reasons using different kinds of tests. Assessment can be formal when it gives learners a mark or grade, or informal when we just observe learners to look how well they are doing something. Right? So we might have formal or informal. We have both in the classroom. Formal when it is the end of the course or the unit or whatever. Informal every single day. Type of test, and especially we have formal for reading and writing or for practice activities on the book, and informal for speaking activities, right? Type of test, we have different types of tests: diagnostic test, placement test, progress test, achievement or summative testing. Diagnostic test, we use it to find out what students know and don't know. This helps us decide what to teach and which learners need help. Placement test, we use it to know what level the learners are. We use it to decide what level the learners should go into. No, we use the placement test, especially, for example, during the selects, no, that when a new student gets to the school. Progress test, we use it to, but it's also called formative assessment. We use it to find out how well learners have learned after we finish teaching part of a course. We use it to decide if we need to continue teaching these or not, and to give feedback on learners' strengths and difficulties. So what progress tests do we have, or what are the different progress tests we have? Well, the unit test. Every time you have a unit test, or every 2 units and you have a test or a quiz, well, that is progress test. That is formative assessment. When you apply tests at the end of a unit or at the end of 3 units. I don't know, how often do you guys apply tests or quizzes in your school? Twice a month. Twice a month. So every time you have this type of test, those tests are progress tests. Okay. Achievement or summative testing. We have it at the end of a course to see how they have learned the contents in the whole course. Learners receive scores and marks from this. So it's the final test, no? The final test. The final test is achievement or summative testing. Very good. We have also proficiency tests, when learners want to know how good they are, no? Content of this test is not based on the course or syllabus the learner has followed, but in general language. Give me examples of a proficiency test. TKT test. Very good, Gerardo. Yes, it is a proficiency test. All certifications are proficiency tests. Very good. Yeah, the CENI, the FCE, the TOEFL, the CAE, all of them are proficiency tests. Very good. Self-assessment. We use it to get or peer assessment. Now it can be we probably have it as checklist. Now we give the students checklists and they exchange checklists, and now you're gonna grade your classmate, or now you're gonna do it. We usually have this self-assessment, for example, in the books where it says check your progress, no, and students check their own progress. We use it to help learners to understand their language, use, and performance balance. We use it to make learners more autonomous. And finally, the portfolio. Portfolio were really popular some years ago. Right now, out of a sudden, we stopped talking about portfolios, but they were really popular. Do you guys use portfolios in your school? No, the workbook is not a portfolio. You do, Gerardo. That's good. A portfolio is a compilation of all your students' works, evidences, yes. They can be only pictures, they can be recordings, they can be the same tests, etc. You do. That's good. That's good. If you do it, great job. If not, don't worry. There are formats now. There are formats for the portfolio that you can download from the web. Portfolio, we use it to help the students be aware of their development, and it is a compilation of learners' work that sometimes includes comment. Many times includes comment. Okay, there are many different assessment tasks. Many different assessment tasks. We use them when we are, for example, I don't know, doing a quiz or a test. And we have gap filling, multiple choice questions, multiple choice questions, true-false questions, ordering, correcting mistakes, taking part in interviews, conversations, role plays, writing letters, compositions, dictations, and many more. Every task is different to the others. They might be used for a specific purpose, like testing accuracy, pronunciation, appropriacy, fluency, or interaction. They can be objective when answers are either right or wrong, or subjective when answers depends on our judgment. Some informal assessment include observing learners' spoken or written notes and keeping notes on their performance. For example, rubrics. No? Rubrics are informal assessment, where we only have the rubrics to check students' I don't know, pronunciation in an interview or an oral quiz, and we just mark good, bad, well done, or excellent, or whatever. Great. Okay, and this is the last one, guys. Key concepts about assessment. Assessment affects what we teach and our learners' motivation for learning. We should not use a particular testing method just because it is easy to use or to mark, but because it reflects what we are teaching and what learners need to use the language for. Feedback to learners on what they do right and wrong, their strengths and weaknesses, and what they can do to improve is very important. Through feedback, assessment helps learning. I mean, assessment, like, it's very common that sometimes we only have assessment for multiple choice, no? And only multiple choice, and everything is multiple choice. But multiple choice focuses only on one thing: structure and vocabulary. If we want to focus on production, on accuracy, on appropriacy of the language, we need to choose other types of assessments. And when we give feedback to the students, then is when assessment is relevant and important. If we only grade and check, but we never give feedback, well, then we are just assessing the students for having a number on the card, but not because it is helping the students to learn. So feedback is really important. Informal assessment is often more suitable for assessing young learners because their ways of thinking and learning are based on experience and communication. For example, in kindergarten or in elementary school, well, they use a lot of informal assessment. No, they only say good or bad, or you need to improve, or they have the happy face. No, and that's it. Mhm. Okay, very good, guys. So far, so good. Are we all right? Shall we go to the break? Hmm. 10, 7:20. All right. Okay. After the like with this, we finish module 1. After the break, we are going to start module 2. Module 2 is about lesson planning and use of resources for language teaching. Okay. And in the case of module 2, we today are not going to finish it, so we're going to finish it today and tomorrow. It's 6:51, so I'll see you here at 7:05, right? 15 minutes on 7:05. Okay, so you can go to the break. You can take a little break. Go ahead. Okay, I'll see you here. Yeah, 7:05. Yeah. Hello, hello. Are you guys ready? Victor, you guys here? Good. Good, 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 good. All right, guys, let's continue on. Let's continue on. All right, let's get going because it's already 7, so we don't have too much time. Let's finish this so we can finish the whole module 2 tomorrow in the first part, and then you can work on the module 3. All right, module 2, as I said, in module 2 we are going to be talking about lesson planning. And the first and most important part of any lesson planning is identifying and selecting aims. Aims are what we want learners to learn or be able to do at the end of a lesson, a sequence of lessons, or a whole course. Aims may focus, for example, on a function, grammatical structure, on the vocabulary, a language skill, or even just on pleasure the students and encouraging a good attitude towards a foreign language. So, basically, there are many different aims, and it's up to us the one we decide. To identify the most appropriate aim, we need to ask ourselves 2 questions. So when planning your classes, it is important that you start by asking yourself these 2 questions. Number 1, what do my learners already know? And number 2, what do they need to know? Okay, so you're going to start planning your classes. You start with your aim and you ask yourself, what do they know already? Okay, and then you start, okay, they know this, and that. Okay, now, what do they need to learn? Okay, they need to learn this, and that. All right. We can divide our aims in 3 different types. Main aims. They describe the most important thing we want our students to achieve in a lesson. On a lesson plan, we should include an example of the target language we are planning to teach. Subsidiary aims. These show how the language or skill learners must be able to use well in order to achieve the main aim. And personal aims. They show what we would like to improve or to focus on in our own teaching. So there are 3 aims: main aims, subsidiary aims, and personal aims. And we have an example. For example, main aim: to practice making polite requests in the context of making holiday arrangements. Examples of exponent. Remember that the exponent is the piece of language we use to represent the function. In this case, could you give me some information about hotel? Now, subsidiary aims. Grammar: to revise auxiliary verbs. Functional exponents: could, would, you. Vocabulary: to consolidate lexis to travel accommodation. Phonology: to focus on intonation. Speaking: to give control oral practice. Personal aim: to practice making polite requests in contests. Alright, so I just want you to tell me the main aim. What part of the language is the main aim? What part of the language is the main aim? Who remembers? We saw this 2 days ago. What item of the language is the main aim? No, yes. Just look at this. Look at this. Read it. Here, we're talking about what part of the language? What item? What component? What aspect of the language? Yes, sorry, I was reading a message. Yes, Hector, functions. Yes, Marcos, functions. That's it. So when we here in the aim, we're talking about the function. In the subsidiary aims, we're talking about all the other aspects of the language. In the subsidiary aims, we're talking about the grammar, the vocabulary, the phonology, the speaking, etc. And in the personal aims, well, that would be my aim as a teacher. So remember, main aim, function. Subsidiary aims, yes, Marcus said it first. Subsidiary aims, grammar, vocabulary, phonology, speaking, reading, writing, whatever. Personal aims, my personal aim as a teacher. Okay? I got to be, you got me. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Okay, good. Once we have decided on the aims, we can design or select the most appropriate activity. So the most important is the aim. Once we know the aim, now we can decide on the activities. Put them in the best order and choose the most suitable teaching aids and materials. After lesson, look back at the aims and see whether we have achieved our aims or not. This can help us plan for future lessons. And we got here key concept. Okay, so just to make this clear, we decide on the aim. We start planning our class. The first thing we do is decide on the aim. Okay, once we have the aim, okay, now we plan the activities. Okay, at the end of the class, it's a good idea, an excellent idea that you check whether your students achieve the aim or not. I don't know, like, I don't know if you guys were aware that I was when I was directing, because I was director of Harmon Hall here in Acapulco, and in Harmon Hall Acapulco we had a method which was mandatory for all of the teachers, and all of the teachers need to know a learning objective. I mean, the teachers it was mandatory. For example, that when I bump into a teacher in the hallway, I would ask the teacher, "Hello, teacher." Like, for example, Teacher Benito. "Hey, what's up, Teacher Benito?" "Oh, here, Miss Mario. I'm going to this class." "Oh, that's good. And what group are you teaching?" "I'm teaching course 5." "Oh, that's good. What lesson are you teaching?" "I'm teaching lesson 3." "Oh, that's great, mister. And what's today's learning objective?" So I would ask the teacher their learning objectives every now and then. And it was mandatory for them to know the learning objective, to know the aim of the day. And they will have to write that aim on the board. And every single day they will have to write it. It was part of their evaluation. And if they would not write it, they would be, like, not punished, but there was, like an attention call or something for them, And at the end of the class, we would, or they would ask the students, like, "Hey, today's learning objective is this." No, let's say Teacher Uribe does that. That's good. No, I have never seen Teacher Uribe teaching a class, but that's really good. So at the end of the class, the students would tell the teacher, like, if they feel they can do or they could perform the aim, or whether not. So that was what we used to do at Harmon Hall. So yes, it is a good idea. It is a good idea, and it works. Every now and then, like, I bump into teachers who were my former teachers of Harmon Hall, and I bump into them, or I hire them for Cambridge, or I just see them teaching in other places, and I see they continue doing it. They continue to, even they are not in Harmon Hall anymore, they continue doing it because it works and it's a really good idea. All right. The syllabus and or the course book will give us a general direction for planning or teaching. To decide on specific aims for a particular lesson, however, we should think about our learners' needs and the stage they have reached in their learning. I mean, the book by itself give us, aims, functions, grammar, etc. But it's important for us to plan based on the student's needs, not on the book. We can identify and select appropriate personal aims in a similar way by looking back at earlier lessons we have taught and think about things have worked well or not. So it's a good idea, that whenever we're planning, we just look back and think about successful experience. We should not confuse aims and procedures. This is very important. Aims describes what learners will learn, while procedures, the activities they will do. Aims should not be that general. Instead of to teach the past simple, say to introduce and practice past simple to talk about experiences. You see? Past simple is too general. I mean, there are too many things you can teach about the past simple. To review the past simple, it's too general. You need to be more specific, and you need to plan it up to a function. So you say to being able or to talk about past life experience, or to talk about my yesterday routine, or to talk about I don't know, for example, to talk about my experience at school. Okay, so that's a function, good. You shouldn't it should say you shouldn't do too much in a lesson. The amount we plan to cover will depend on the length of the lesson and the learner's level. I mean, you cannot finish past simple in one class. Even in the books now, past simple, present continuous, present simple are divided into 3-4 units because it's impossible to cover everything in one single class, right? So we need to plan it depending on the length and the student's level. Learners also need to know what lesson is going to be about. It is helpful to announce aims at the beginning and the ending of a lesson. Learners find it helpful to know why they are doing things. As we said, learners learn better when they have a reason to learn. Very good. So far, so good? Great. Okay, so lesson planning. Aims. Okay, next part of lesson planning. Identifying different components of a lesson plan. Okay, this is really important, and the task that it comes after this is really important too, because it's very similar to the ones we have in the real exam. So pay attention. All your focus here. Identifying the different components of a lesson plan. A lesson plan is a set of notes that help us think through what we are going to teach and how we are going to teach it. The main components of a lesson plan show us what the lesson is for, the aims, and what the teacher and the learners will do during the lesson and how they will do it, the procedures. Here are some ways a lesson plan helps the teacher. Before the lesson, writing down the aims and procedures for each stage of the lesson helps us to make sure that we have planned the best possible sequence to enable us to achieve those aims. During the lesson, the plan can also help the teacher to check timing and to check that the lesson is following the sequence we decided on. After the lesson, we can keep the plan as a record and use the plan and notes to help plan the next lesson. A lesson plan can include the following headings. Like, pay attention to this one because the following activity is going to be about identifying these components in lesson plans. And sometimes or many times in the real exam, that is one of the tasks. You know that you have a lesson plan and you need to identify the components. Or you have the lesson plan and you need to fill it with different components. But to do so, you need to identify them or you need to know them well. So we have lesson plan headings, level, and number of learners. Well, that's pretty easy. Who we are planning the lesson for. Timetable fit. That's really easy too. How the lesson is connected to the last lesson and or the next one. For example, no? How the lesson is connected. You say unit 1, lesson 2. So it's the second lesson of the unit 1. Unit 3, lesson C. No, for example, in your case, no, it's by number, right? For you, it's by number, right? So you say unit 3, lesson 4 or 5 or 2 or 3 or what? So you know it. Okay? That's a timetable fit. It's not the time that you are going to spend in your class. It's not the date. It is how the lesson is linked with the following lesson. Alright? Okay. Main name, as we said. We want the learners to learn or be by the end of the lesson. The function mainly. Subsidiary aims. Other things we want learners to be able to do during the lesson because they lead to the main aim. The grammar, the vocabulary, the phonology, everything. Personal aims. Aspects of our own teaching we want to develop and or improve. Assumptions. Do you guys have sorry. Do you guys have a lesson plan format in your school? I mean, do you have a specific format? Or you just plan the way God helps you? Alright, the book has a format. God helps us. Yeah, specific. Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, don't worry. Okay, so exactly, not any specific. Okay. Yeah, like I mean there are so many different formats, and to be honest, you want me to be really honest, you know, for me, the format is not even important. The important thing is that you plan. Even though you plan only on notebook or you just make notes with post-its and you put them on the book, the important thing is that you have it clear for yourself and you can understand it. I mean, the format is not even that relevant. You know, the relevant thing is that you plan your class. That's the most important. Well, let's continue on. But some formats may include this. I have never seen a format which includes assumptions, but here we have that concept. Assumptions. What we think learners already know or can relate to the aims. So what we think they know, what we think their previous knowledge is, those are the assumptions. Anticipated language problems. Things learners might find difficult. So you think about your lesson and you think, I guess, I know this is going to be difficult, and you know it now. Possible solutions. Actions we take to deal with anticipated problems, right? So you think, okay, I know this is difficult for the student, so I'm going to do this. Okay? Teaching aids, materials, or equipment. Useful reminders of things to take to the lesson. Okay? Are we okay, guys? Okay. Procedures, tasks, and activities for each stage. Timing, length of time needed for each stage. And finally, interaction patterns, ways in which learners work at different stages, individually, pairs, groups, etc. So most of the lesson planners include this. The only thing like I've rarely see in a lesson plan is this, and this. But as for the others, almost all the lesson plans include them. All right. When we plan, we need to ask ourselves how the procedures we have planned will help to achieve our aims and to make sure there are strong connections between the different stages. I mean, you're planning and you're writing the activities, you need to be sure that every single thing you wrote, every single procedure you wrote is there to help the students achieve the aim. Because if you are just doing things and they are not related to the aims, well, then what is the purpose of doing so? So when you plan, you need to be aware of that your activities are aligned to the aims. And also that you have strong connections between the different stages of your class. That you don't start talking about simple present and finish talking about future with going to. But there is a connection. We also need to consider variety. Learners of all languages need different activities in a lesson. And during the lesson, we should teach the students and not be worried about the lesson plan. This can be modified according to the pace of the class. That's the most important. You plan before the class. During the class, you can use it as a guide. And after the class, you can just check what worked and what didn't work. But during the class, it's not that you're going to stick to your plan and do it exactly that way. Because very probably it's not going to work. Like today. Today I thought we would have finished by this time the module 2, and we haven't. So the same happens in the classroom. So don't be worried about it. Just follow your students because they are actually the ones who determine the pace of the class. Okay? So far so good. Ready for the next activity? Great. So ready for the activity. Oh my goodness. Even me, no? I mean, even me is I'm nervous now about the activity because this activity students find it really interesting. Okay. All right. We are going to see a lesson planner. Right now we are going to see a lesson planner and we are going to complete it. Give me a sec. Okay, there we go. Okay, you're not ready. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're gonna do it good. Okay, we're gonna start with the easiest thing, and then we're gonna go to the most difficult thing. This is what we are going to do right now. It is the most difficult part of the course. So pay a lot of attention and try to do it the best you can. Okay? If you can do this, don't worry. If you can do this, you will pass the exam with 100 and be band 4. Okay, there we go. Alright, so first we're going to start by identifying the different parts of the lesson plan. So please copy the words in the box, okay, so I can show you the following. I can scroll it down. Please copy the words from the box. Okay? Okay. Okay, so there we go. There you go. Match the parts of the lesson plan with the definitions. Alright, guys? Right, right. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next part. There you go. All right. Okay. Who's missing? All right, we got Monica. We got Hector. Is missing Gerardo, Alberto, Karen, Mr. Cruz. There you go. Right, guys, go ahead, go ahead. Do your best. We are about to finish today, and you will be surprised. But we also about to finish module 2 because there are only 4 topics in module 2 and we covered almost 2. Great. Okay, it's only Gerardo missing and Marcos. All right, let's start checking the answers. Okay. All right. So I'm not that fast. It takes me longer because I get confused. Okay, don't worry. It's okay. All right, let's check. It says the most important aim. Example: the teacher's main aim could be to teach the present perfect or develop listening skill. And we have over here procedure, interaction, main aims, etc. So the answer was, let me see, it's because I got confused because I see your answers like A, B, C. All right, yeah, the answer was number main aim. I get a little confused. Oh, you got, for example, Alberto got A, B. So A, B means what? Means interaction partner or what? So I get a little confused. Hello, hello. You can hear me? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Yes, you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes, yes. Great. Well, okay. So I said, so the most important aim, number 1 is main aim. Very good. Let's continue. What the teacher would like to improve in his or her teaching to reduce time I spend grade on the board, the answer is personal aim. Letter C. The details of exactly what is going to happen in each stage of a lesson, students practice the language of complaints in a role play in pairs. Okay, example, the students practice blah blah blah. It says details exactly what is going to happen. Procedure. That was the answer. Procedure. A section of a lessons work through different steps such as leading, presentation, control, practice, etc. Stage. When teachers plan lesson, they think about how long each activity will take, and they usually write this under plan. And this is timing. It's right here. Timing. The things that a teacher uses in class, example, handouts, pictures, flashcards. When teachers plan lessons, they think about what things they will need. And this is, where is it? Aids. There we go. Aids. Letter G. When teachers are planning a lesson, they think about what their students might find difficult, about the language or skills in the lesson so that they can help them learn more effectively at certain points in the lesson. And this is anticipated problems and solutions. Letter H. When teachers think about what they believe their students will know or how will behave in a particular way. In a particular lesson. And this is assumptions. Okay. I. The different ways students and teachers work together in class. Example, student to student in pairs or groups, or teacher to student in open class, etc. Interaction pattern. We got next, J. How the lesson fits logically into a sequence of lessons, what goes before a particular lesson, how a lesson links to and helps students with in the following lesson. Timetable fit. And of course the last one is subsidiary aim. The subsidiary focus of the lesson is important than the main aim, I should say. It could be the language or skill learners must be able to use in order to achieve the main aim, subsidiary aim. How did it go for you guys? How did it go for you? All correct. Very good. Congratulations. You're ready for the exam. But this was just the lead in. Let's go to the main one. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll send you a sample test. So actually, yes. Okay, alright guys, but this is just a warm-up. Here it comes the the real one, the real lesson plan. Okay, so how about the others? How did the others do? What about the others? Alberto, Karen, Marcos, Oliver, how did you guys do? So more or less is Oliver. So too, Alberto is more or less. 6, 7 mistakes, almost all correct. Good job, Marcos. Okay, and then we go. This is the good one, guys. Look, this is what we are going to do. We are going to do this one all together. And I'm going to give you a similar one to do it for homework. I want you, if you don't have the chance to do any other of the homeworks, don't do them. But this one, do it please, because this is really important. Really, as you can see in module 1, there were too many topics, but we are almost done with module 2. There are really, look, this is what is missing from module 2. 1 topic, 2 topics, sorry, and that's it. So it's 1 slide, 2 slides, 4 slides more, and we finish with module 2. Basically, module 2 is really short, as well as module 3. So the difficulty with module is that since it's really short, everything is really important. And basically, most of the exercises in the exam are precisely identifying the components and how you arrange them into the lesson plan. So that's why the others, for example, phonology, probably you have 3 or 4 questions from phonology in the module 1. But from lesson planning, well, these type of activities are really similar to the ones in the exam. So that's why I encourage you guys to do this homework. Today's homework is going to be really important. So let's do this together, and the homework is all of you try to do it. All of you do it. Don't try, do it. Okay, so here we have a lesson plan format. So this is the format that we have here, and it includes all of the components that we previously saw, but and more. And here we have number 1. You guys tell me what you think should say in number 1. There is no clue here. There's no clue. It says, number 1, to practice the skills of listening for geese and listening for detail, and to provide practice in the language of the topic. What is that, guys, in your opinion? Based on what we just saw. Main name. Very good, Alberto. Congratulations. Yes, main name. Excellent. Number 2, subsidiary aim to develop oral fluency. Number 3, to simplify teacher language in class. What do you guys think is that? What do you think? Come on. Procedure. No, I don't think so. Any other idea? Interaction pattern. No, come on, read it again. And person. Yes, it is personal aim. Personal aim. Very good. Personal aim, Marcus. Karen, very good. All right. 4, assumptions. Students will be interested in the topic as it is relevant to them. Number 5. And solutions. 2 of the students are less good at listening, so the recording will be difficult. I'll pair them with stronger students for support. Anticipated problems. Very good, Monica. Great. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to start with number 7. Stages and time. Stage, lead in. Time, 5 minutes. Number 8. That was a piece of cake. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're jealous, right, mister? Stage aim. And you got number 8. And we got nothing here. But now let's read the procedure. The procedure says, ask the student if any of them do extra lesson after school, what kind they do, and if they enjoy them. What would it be the stage aim? How would you write the aim here? Look at the procedure. Give me an idea of an aim for this procedure. Why would you do that? It's a lead in. No. We know, Alberto. We know it's the introduction, but I don't want you to tell me the name of the stage. The name of the stage is right here. I want you to give me an example of aim. What would it be the aim of this procedure? Why would you do this for? For example, here under this one you have an example of an aim. To help the students understand vocabulary in the recording. This is the aim for this one. So this is the aim for elicit, teach, enjoyable, body, blah, 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 blah. Here, the procedure is, ask the student if any of them do extra lesson after school, what kind they do, and if they enjoy them. You do this for what? What do you do it for? To what? What is the reason? Look at the stage. We are in the lead in. No, don't get lost. Don't get lost. We are right here in number 8. Possible situation. No, okay. Let's stop it right there. Okay, let's stop it right there. No. Guys, take it easy. Take it easy. Don't write anymore. Take it easy. Okay. Take it easy. Take it easy. Okay. Okay, Monica, listen, we are not going to write the name of the stage. We are going to write, this is a lesson plan. We are writing a lesson plan. Imagine this is your lesson plan. The stage is lead in. The time is 5 minutes. The activity is ask the student if any of them do extra lesson after school. What kind they do and if they enjoy it. This is the activity. And what would it be a good aim for this activity? It needs to start with 2, exactly. What? To provide a new tool? No, Oliver, no. I thought you were alright, Oliver. I was about to cry of happiness. No, it starts with 2 because it is a name. It is a name. So we start like to, what do you do this for? To what? In a lead-in. It is a lead-in. Why do you have lead-ins in your class? To pick. To pick? I don't understand. To get students involved. Very good, Hector. That's a very good aim for this. To promote speaking, I don't think so, Marcos, because remember this is a lead-in. You are starting your class. So you will say something like, to introduce the topic, to activate previous knowledge, to get the students involved in the class, to make the topic relevant for the students, to get the students a real life situation for the class, to something like that. Is the introduction, is the beginning of the class, is the lead in. Okay. Alright, let's continue on. Number 9. Now here, yes, here you have to tell me this stage. Here you have to. It says, to help students understand the vocabulary in the recording, elicit or teach, enjoyable, boring, expensive, time-consuming, exciting, and then writing on the board. What stage is this? What stage is this? What part of the class are we talking about? What are we doing here? Where are we in the class? Listening is not a stage of the class. Listening is a skill, not a stage. We're talking about stages. Remember, we just saw it. We just talk about the stages in the class. We talk about warm-ups, lead-in, control practice. No, assumptions, no, Oliver. It's not the part of the planner. It is the part of the stage of the class. Assumptions are right here. Look, it says right here, assumptions. We just pass it by. You didn't see what? Yes, you saw it. You saw it because we did it in the PPP and the TBL. We talk about the stages of the class. I even show you the interchange book and explain you how the book how the book worked. What stage of the class is here? No, no. Okay, guys, it's not the part of the lesson plan. It's the part of the class. Of the lesson plan. It's not anticipated problems. It's not assumption. It's not aims. No, no, no. The class, guys, the class. You are in the class. What stage of the class? Okay, guys, we only have, remember, we only have some stages in the class. We don't have too many. We only have some. If it is a PPP class, the stages are lead in or warm up, presentation, control practice, free practice, production. That's it. And probably you have a closing activity, but that's it. What stage of the class is this? Is it the introduction? Is it the practice? Is it the control practice? Yes, Karen, thank you very much. This is the presentation. Presentation. This is a presentation. This is a presentation, guys. You here are presenting the language to the student. And the language, you at least or teach the language. Yes. Excellent, Karen. Very good. Thank you. All right, let's continue on. Then you have drill. In here, you are going to write the time. How long would you take for this activity? It's up to you. You think about it. To provide, the aim is to provide practice of new vocabulary. And the procedure, choral drill, individual drill, and ask students to give me examples of the words in sentences. How long? No, 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 no. We know this stage is a drill. It says right here. What we are going to write is the time. How long would you take for this activity? How long? You just need to tell me the time. Whatever, it's up to you. You are the teacher. 5 minutes. Good. 5 minutes is okay. 10 minutes, 15. I don't think you're going to take more than that, right? 7, 8. It's up to you. Very good. Okay, but Oliver said 5 minutes, 15 minutes, Karen. It's up to you. Very good. There's no right or wrong. Okay. So we have number 11 and 12 already over there. Let's go to number 13. It says, leading to recording and set task. Aim, to provide practice in predicting content. Write the title of the recording on the board. Never waste a moment after school. And then here it says, students, here we are going to write the procedure. Look, listen again. Leading into recording and set task. It says to provide practice in predicting content. What are you going to do? You are going to write the title of the recording of the board. Never waste a moment after school. And your students, what do you think your students have to do? What is the procedure for this? What would you ask your students to do here? We are in the procedure column. Look, procedure, you see? Procedure. No, but please write it complete. Remember that you are in your lesson plan. This is your lesson plan. Imagine it is your lesson plan. Oh, so you would write students inferring the general idea. No, I don't think so. Read please the aim. The aim says to provide practice in predicting content. And then you imagine yourself in the classroom. You are at the classroom. You will provide practice in predicting. You write the title on the board. You ask the students to. No, no, Karen. All right, no, guys, no, guys, guys. The students haven't listened to anything. The students haven't listened to anything. Please read again the stage and the aim. Imagine yourself at the classroom. Where are we? We are right here. We are leading to the recording. We haven't listened to the recording. The recording is right here. It's in the next line. But right now we haven't listened to it. So we cannot give the main idea. We cannot practice about the audio because we haven't listened to it. Look at this. It says provide practice on predicting content. You imagine you are at the classroom. You want your students to practice predicting, and you write on the board, never waste a moment after the school, and you tell your student, guys, we're gonna listen to an audio called never waste a moment after school. And then you ask your students to do what? Exactly. No. Sorry. I thought Oliver got the answers, but he didn't. Okay. Just the beginning is okay. Predict or guess, but they cannot guess the title, Oliver, because you wrote the title on the board. You wrote it already. You wrote the title on the board. The title is Never Waste a Moment After School. You write that on the board and you tell your students, okay guys, please, I want you to You're practicing predicting. Oliver gave you the beginning. He said students will predict or guess, but not the title because the title is on the board. So they will predict or guess what the situation is about. Very good. That is a very good idea. Yes. So students will predict what the recording is about, what the situation is about, what the people in the audio will do. Yes, very good. Students will predict what the audio, the recording, the situation is about. Very good, very good. It was not that easy, right? Okay, I told you this was the most difficult part. I told you. You see the importance of doing this homework, right? Hopefully all of you do it. We need more time. More time for what? You will have all day from 8:30 to 4 tomorrow. You will have all day to answer one similar activity. All right. So let's continue on the class. The class, sorry, on the lesson plan. And the lesson plan says recording. Okay, now you listen to the recording. 3 minutes. Provide practice in listening for gigs. Students listen to the recording to check their predictions. So the students grow predictions about the recording. Now they listen to the recording, they check their predictions. Now you get feedback. You check to check answers. The students share their answers in open class. All of them start sharing their answers, and you give them feedback. Now recording 2. You listen to the recording once. Now you're gonna listen to the recording by the second time. So this is the second and the third time you listen to the recording. And it says to provide practice in listening for detail. And what is the procedure? What are you the students going to do? You are going to hand out worksheets, and students, I help you already with the first word. Students what? You gave the students the worksheets, and your students what? Imagine yourself at the classroom turning in the worksheets, and your students what? We'll fill in the blanks. Very good. Very good. You can say so, or you can say something different. Any other idea? We'll complete the blank spaces. You're paraphrasing what Hector said. Okay. Are going to write specific information. Very good, Monica. Very good. Okay. So, you hand out the worksheets and the students will listen and complete. No? We'll answer the activity. We'll fill in the blanks. We'll match or whatever you're asking them to do. Very good. Very good, guys. Great. Very good. Peer check. Listen, we are right here. Peer check. Peer check, sorry. To encourage peer cooperation, students check their answers in pairs. And here, number 19. Look, number 19 is interaction pattern. You see, this column is for the interaction pattern. So it says number 19. Students are going to work how? What is the interaction pattern we are going to encourage the students here? They're going to work how? In what? In pairs, right? So in pairs mean students to student. And here we have a key to the symbols, students to students. We grade it like this, right? Students to students. Very good. In pairs, very good. We're almost done. There's only one missing, this one, and that's it. Feedback to check answers, report back on answers. Class survey to develop moral fluency and provide practice. Put the students into group with a worksheet. The students carry out a class survey on the topic in groups. Here we have students. It says students work in groups. And then number 20. What is number 20? Aids. What materials or aids would you use for this activity? One more time. Look, class survey to develop oral fluency and provide practice. Put the students into groups with a worksheet. Students carry out a class survey on topics in groups. What do you need for this? Questionnaire, survey. Very good. A survey, a questionnaire, a worksheet, right? However you want to call it. Very good. Very good. Excellent. And we finish. Feedback to allow students to share views, report back, and class discussion of survey results. Great. Okay. For homework, I'm going to send you a very similar one. This is going to be for homework. This one is going to be for homework. There are 22. So I'll send it to you, and you have all day from here till 4 o'clock tomorrow. All right? All right. Do the homework, guys. This homework is important. Please, all of you try to do it, please. Was it difficult or easy? Yes, it was difficult. Yes, it's a fact of getting used to it. As I told you since the beginning, I told you the most difficult module is this one, is module 2. Why? Because of this. Because module 2, it's like this. You need to identify the different parts of the lesson plan. You need to, match the lesson plan to the procedures, to the aims, to the what. That's why it's that's why it is difficult, and especially because we are not used to plan this way. We are not used to plan this way. I am not used to plan this way. Having the stage, the time, the aim, the procedure, the interaction, the aids, and everything. Look, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different stages. Imagine planning like this every single day. Whew. I will live only for planning. They will have to pay me double for planning. So since we are not used to this, that's why it's kind of difficult. To all of the other things, we are more used to. So that's why I encourage you to practice more, okay, to do this. And I'll send you this, and I really encourage you to do the homework, okay? Doubts, questions? Doubts, questions? So far, so good. Okay. All right. Well, let me see. Okay, guys. Since tomorrow is the all of them. All right. Since tomorrow is our last day, if we really want to finish on time tomorrow, because we need to finish tomorrow, because Mr. Marcos told me Saturday you start classes. and since you start classes you cannot attend the course. So since like tomorrow we are going to finish yes or yes, right? So since we really like, there's not too much missing. As I said, we have only one, two, and then we two topics, and then we start with module 3, and module 3 is really short. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 topics. But look at the topics, like most of them are only one page in module 3. One page, one page, one page, two pages. Only the first one is 2 pages, the other are 1 page, and the topics are really easy: using language properly, identifying functions on language, categorizing mistakes, teacher roles, grouping learners, correcting learners, giving feedback. So they're not that tough. This one is the tough one, the one we just saw. But anyhow, since I really want to finish tomorrow, and I really don't want to take longer than 8:30, so I really encourage you to be on time. Usually at 4 I get online, and there is an option here, in the platform, where I can start the event, or I can just prepare the event while everybody gets. And when I get online, I'll see only one. Today was only Gerardo. The first day was only Monica. So tomorrow try to be all of you on time, because I'm going to start on time. I'm going to start at 4, so we can check in the homework, by the way. So you don't want to miss the homework. Check, be on time, okay? And so we can finish on time too. All right. Well, this is gonna be it for today. I'll send you homework. Sorry, I have classes. You have classes. Sorry for you, Oliver. I'm not sorry. You like, you're gonna miss it. But well, I'll send you the book already, guys. I'll send you the book. Check that all of you have the book. And also there's something else that is very important, and it is that tomorrow, since we finish tomorrow, I'm going to give you a sample test for all of the 3 modules. The way we are going to have the sample test is that I'm going to send you to your emails. We're not going to have enough time to answer the sample test in class, but I'll send you to your emails. You will answer it on your pace, on the time you prefer, and you will send me the pictures with your answer, or you just send me the answer sheet. You can just write the answers on a paper or on a notebook and send me just the answers, okay? And so that way I can check your answer and let you know your scores and the band that you get in every of the modules, okay? All right. And I'm just gonna talk to Mr. Marcos. I'll send you a WhatsApp, Marcos, just to check the way I can send you the not the certificates, the constancias and the diplomas for this course, so you can help me delivering them to the guys. Please send you a WhatsApp, so just to get a way of having those diplomas for the guys. Well, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have an excellent night. Yeah, you too. Sleep well. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. I'm gonna log Oliver. No. Okay, Trish. Okay. Well, you can open your microphone if you prefer. So we can talk about it. All right. Okay. So about tomorrow. So I'm going to finish Unit 2, sorry, module 2. I'm going to finish it with the guys, and I'm going to check the homework. Module 3 is really easy. It's the easiest thing of the world. Like, most of people takes module 3 and they pass it with band 4, with band 3, because it's really easy. So it's going to be the easiest part of the course. Anyhow, I sent you already the presentation, the whole presentation. You know, Oliver, you can leave. You prefer Oliver open his microphone. you know. All right. So I'll send you, Trish, already the presentation. Okay. So all the presentation, you have it, and you have seen the way I work with them. So it's really easy. You just have to go through the presentation, read the presentation, ask them any doubts, any questions they may have, and then you just check the activities with them. I send you the activities too. They are going to be only 3 activities, because I don't consider, well, I'll send you those 3, and I think like probably you are going to finish with those 3 before 8:30. But I'll send you more in case you need them. Okay, but I'll send you only 3 files for you to let me open that, so you can see the 3 files for
Yes.
you to do it with them.
Teacher, it's
Yes,
still the recording
yes.
is still on. Yes, is that okay?
Oh, close it, please. Close it.
Okay.
Can you close